Well, Montreal, we talk about them needing a win today, but finding goals has been, I don't want to say difficult, but it has been a challenge for them this season, Jess.
Without a doubt. And they've had so much creation, and you can see it there, right? 223 shots, 29 goals. But the big conversion chance, Cigna, they have 25% finishing, and it has to be so better. And you're going to see it here in these clips. There's so many opportunities that they're able to capitalize on, and they don't. And this is a fantastic ball over the top. Jerem has the opportunity to go directly towards goal, but she takes that touch wide, and she hesitates, and that gives the defender time to reposition, and nothing dangerous comes of it. This opportunity is the perfect example of a big chance that needs to be finished. You're inside the 6-yard box, needs to be better. This opportunity here, it's hard to tell whether or not she's really striking this to go to goal or she's trying to cross the ball, but either way, you're in close range. It has to be better from her. It has to be on frame. And for this clip, Cigna, this ball's coming back across. Sauvé needs to be better here. The technique, she gets under it. She needs to be able to keep that down and strike it on frame, find precision, be clinical. For this final opportunity, you see here, Monyard is in range. She has the ability to score this. We know she can do it, but instead she leans back and kicks it over top of the goal.
Well, as for the starting 11 today, Robert Rosatoyu going back to a traditional 4-4-2. Several starters unavailable today just due to niggling injuries, but you will see Charlotte Bilbao moving up to a higher role, not that defensive midfield role. She's up top. A key midfielder is Chloe Minas, and she's standing by with our Ashley Docking.
Chloe, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Now, it's a big match for you guys, a lot at stake here, taking on AFC Toronto for the 5th and final time. How do you balance knowing what's on the line and the pressure, but also being able to execute your game plan?
I think at the end of the day, big moments require big players to step up. So we're made for this. Pressure makes diamonds. So at the end of the day, this is what we live for. So I think we're just all grateful for the opportunity.
I love the confidence coming out of you today, but let's talk about the fact that AFC Toronto loves to impose themselves. They love to get forward and apply that pressure. How do you also balance that while trying to assert yourselves in this match?
I think that's all about weathering the storm. So as long as we can keep our composure, keep our calmness, and I think that's one of our strengths as, honestly, Montreal Roses. So as long as we focus on what we know we can do, we'll be A-okay.
As for AFC Toronto, lining up in their familiar formation, 3-5-2. A couple of different starters, though, in the lineup, again, just due to player management at this stage of the season. April Lantain getting her second start of the season at left midfield position. Neota Katembo coming in at the right. Kaylee Hunter on the bench, but Lauren Rowe will get the start today. But, of course, all the news about Kaylee Hunter, that big call-up, and she's standing by pitch side with Ashley.
Kaylee, it's great to see you, and I'm excited to talk about your match against Montreal in just a moment, but I do want to give you a round of applause for your first ever national team call-up. In which ways do you think playing with AFC Toronto prepared you for a moment like this?
First off, thank you so much. It's such a huge honor. It's something I've worked for my whole life, so I'm super excited. And yeah, I mean, all credit to Toronto. We've had a really, really good season, and I think I wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for them and all the success we've had. So super happy to be a part of this team, and yeah, just looking forward to the game today.
You guys have already locked up the Supporters Shield, but there's still work to be done chasing the 50-plus point mark and honestly just heading into the playoffs on a high note. So against Montreal, what is going to be a priority for you guys in order to get the 3 points here today?
Yeah, we still have lots of road marks that we want to hit, so I think we just got to bring the same momentum that we brought all season. This is just like any other game for us, so yeah, we're going to go into the game just like we have every other game, and yeah, hopefully come out with the win.
Thank you so much, Kaylee.
Of course, thank you.
You're watching the NSL pregame show presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL, and we've got the Guard of Honor. Montreal Roses clapping in the Supporters Shield winner, AFC Toronto. Welcome back to the Northern Super League on CBC Gem. I'm Signa Butler alongside former Canadian Youth International Jess Lisi for today's call between the Montreal Roses and AFC Toronto. It's been 2 months since these two clubs met, Jess, so it's hard to know what to expect with a couple changes in the lineup as well. But it's the final game of the season, and they all want to put their stamp on this season.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, both teams have changed and developed so much, Signa, since the last time they met. As you said, there's also new additions on the squad. So I'm excited to see what kind of matchup we get. We can have a high-scoring match. We can also get one that stays deadlocked at 0-0. You know, I think Lauren Rowe is also somebody. She's coming into this lineup, as you mentioned, some changes. And she's somebody that made an impact since the first minute she stepped on the field. She was able to score in her debut. You see fearless written on the back of her jersey. She is absolutely that. She's been tremendous for them when she stepped on the pitch. A very hard-working player. She's got a great amount of pace, so I think she can absolutely be key for them.
And AFC Toronto, the supporter shield, as we mentioned, for top of the table this season as the wind blusters in at York Lions Stadium. They, you know, despite this not really meaning much in terms of the table, but they want to finish on a high note, of course, 2 weeks before the playoffs begin.
I mean, you're a competitor, Signa. You know that. You don't want to go out with a loss, especially, you know, being awarded the supporter shield after the matchup. You're not going to feel very celebratory if you don't walk away with a win today. So I definitely think they're going to have guns blazing today.
Well, speaking of guns blazing, Esther Okoronkwo starting things off for AFC Toronto, and we're underway at York Lions Stadium. Lauren Rowe getting her first touches of the game from Conception Bay, South Newfoundland and Labrador. Esther laying it off for Rowe. Back to Esther. And just out of touch.
It's well done there by Lees to impose herself and get in front of Okoronkwo. We know that you do not want Okoronkwo running at your back line, let alone being inside your 18-yard box about to take a shot.
Esther Okoronkwo, fantastic season for AFC Toronto. 8 goals, 6 assists. That partnership that she's formed up front with Kaylee Hunter. Not in the starting 11 today is the 17-year-old from Calgary. Hill back through Karpenko. And out to Julia Lees, who's been in that right back position as of late. The center back position's locked up by Lucy Capadonna and Stephanie Hill, so Roberto Rossatoyu wanting to get Lees into the lineup and making sure she gets some minutes, so they've had to make some adjustments as the season has gone along.
And I think for Lees, it's all about her positioning and understanding where she needs to be. Speed is not necessarily her strongest attribute, so not getting herself into a foot race with some of Toronto's speediest players, because she does have the IQ to just recognize where she should be and at what moment to be able to shut down Toronto's attack.
Croy Soto anchoring the back line for AFC Toronto, as she has been for much of this season. Okoronkwo had things early on. Okoronkwo winning the ball, seemed to have her way right now.
Dealing with the physicality of 2 players there.
Rowe running off the back of defenders. Can't get the cross in, closed down by Hill. Rollins forward, just goes off her foot, and Bilbao happy to pick that up as AFC Toronto was sniffing forward. Just a heads up, Marko Milanovic just giving Kaylee Hunter a break for precautionary reasons. That news from our reporter on the ground, Ashley Docking. Of course, a big senior call-up coming up for the 17-year-old with the Canadian national team, getting set to play 2 European friendlies. Ball played forward, Claire Monyard giving chase. Soto will back to Sierra Cotillard. Stratigakis bowled over by Monyard, and first call of the game from our referee for today's match. That's Miriam Marcotte. Robert Rosatoyu looking on at his squad, knowing that he's got a few players unavailable today. Haley Whitaker at right back, Noemi Paquin, Cherim Kang, who's been really effective from South Korea, and Tanya Boychuk. But on the go is Esther Okoronkwo, the cross in. Touched away by Capadonna, but not out of danger yet. Small, that goes off her hand. That'll be a handball, but Okoronkwo early on in this match has been the focal point going forward.
Yeah, she's making herself and her presence very known. She does well anytime she's in and around the 18, but also you see there just a little bit unlucky from Small, bounces off her knee and hits her elbow. But just to continue on Okoronkwo, she's somebody that makes sure that her presence is known. She comes off the front, she receives the ball, she deals with physicality well, she plays those slip balls through, but she also has that threat to go herself.
It's 5 minutes into this match, scoreless at York Lions Stadium. The rain has held off today. That was good news for the Toronto Marathon runners who hit the pavement in Toronto earlier today. Karpenko pumping it up the pitch. Past Katembo. Does well to escape the pressure from Claire Monyard. Just some miscommunication there. Stephanie Hill will scoop up the ball. Hill looking forward for Monyard. Soto, the great communicator back there. Making sure her and Sierra Cotillard were on the same page.
She's been someone that has stepped up for them tremendously. In the beginning of the season, we were constantly speaking about Toronto's back line and how they really needed someone to be able to be that gel and keep the team tight, both between lines, within lines, just be a big communicator. And Croy Soto definitely stepped up for that.
Claire Monyard was looking for Lara Shank on the right side. Minas. Bilbo to Hess. Now Bilbo on paper tonight playing up front, but probably will drop back in the midfield. You see her dropping back there right in the middle of your screen with the ball.
And you can always expect interchange from a team like Montreal. They have that fluidity in their attack. So for Bilbo to drop back, for Minas to get forward, for Hess to get forward, and vice versa, just everybody having that interchange and that fluidity will absolutely help their attack to try to break down a very organized Toronto team.
Ball tangled up in Hill's feet. Here comes Okoronkwo again. Okoronkwo looking to go 1v1. Drops it back to Nikki Small. Two options for Okoronkwo. Katembo knocking it off Hill for a corner kick. So an early corner for AFC Toronto. And we'll see April Lantain come over with the in-swinger with that left foot.
I also just want to point out, Signa, the importance of Stephanie Hill. You saw back-to-back challenges there. She kept her feet steady, but she was ready to move at any given time. She's been great for them on both sides of the ball, but defensively, she's ready for those 1v1 battles. She does not back down.
Lantain, a member of the under-20 Canadian national team. At the corner spot. Driving the ball in near post, headed away. The ball given away to Sauvé. Lori Thibault will hold things up, looking for numbers. Ali Hess and Bilbao, who've been partners in this midfield this season, with the exception of a few games. Really makes a difference when your chemistry can build throughout the season. And onside, surprisingly onside, there's Lauren Rowe. Back to Stratigakis. Cathro really far up the pitch, earning another corner kick.
Really well done there by Toronto. You saw Lauren Rowe pick her moment to go. She timed her run perfectly to stay onside. Okoronkwo getting forward to give her that option. Stratigakis there to receive that second ball and give them another opportunity, and now they're able to get that corner kick and put themselves in another dangerous opportunity to score the first goal of this game.
Emma Regan stepping up, the Canadian national team midfielder, getting set alongside Kaylee Hunter. Be called up for those European friendlies coming up just next week. They'll have training camp. In swing. Karpenko had to punch that away. And Montreal getting it out of danger. Lori Thibault with some space. Down the right channel, looking for a driving Hess. Hess has got some free rein, and Hess is gonna drive this home. First goal of the game goes to the Roses. And just some undecisiveness, and Ali Hess, the great veteran, putting it in for another goal this season.
That's really well done from Montreal, Signa. That starts from their clearance and having purpose behind it. They're able to find their player in there. Thibault does really well to drive forward. She recognizes what's on, and she plays that switch ball over the top, just the right amount of lift to it, and Ali Hess finishing that like an absolute pro, calm, cool, collected, and just beats Cotillard, who comes bombing out of her net. It's a really great finish from them.
So Ali Hess, her second goal of the season, and one of the leaders on this Montreal Roses team. The drums might still be playing at York Lions Stadium, but the Roses coming out here to play just over 10 minutes into the match.
You see their second goal of the season, Signa. If you watched Ali Hess all season long, that would surprise you because of the impact that she's had. She does all that hard work that sometimes goes unrecognized for your average viewer, where you can't even realize how much work she's doing to help this Montreal side. So really fantastic for her to be able to get on the board for her team tonight.
Cathro, Lantain, touched just a bit off. She'll pick it back up to Regan. Rowe. Cathro keeping it. And out for the goal kick. See the wind in the trees at York Lions Stadium. The rain's supposed to be in the forecast a little later today. They're hoping it'll hold off for the Supporters' Shield ceremony. Ball played in behind Sarah Rollins. Monyard can't chase that down. Rollins guides that out of bounds.
I've seen it a few times now, Montreal trying to play Monyard into space. I think it would be a lot more helpful for them to, and useful for them to utilize her coming off the front. She's somebody that has that ability to hold the play up and also to wait to get more support behind her. But those balls in behind, Toronto does have a decently fast-paced back line, so it's not going to be the easiest of feats, Signa, to play that ball in behind for Monier to run onto it. So definitely picking your moments to play that in behind in that direct ball, but also finding her feet coming off the front at times. And that also comes from Moniard's run. She has to be able to communicate that she wants that ball off the front.
Ball won by Cathro, but Montreal back in possession. And it's Bilbao again engineering the great former French international in the midfield. And doesn't wear that captain's armband, but just commands leadership in that central midfield position, demands excellence. Big help for a player like Chloe Minas, who came in later. This is just her 7th game of the season for Montreal.
She's somebody that has also had an impact since she's come in. She's been able to impose herself in the midfield as far as, if you watch her, she's always checking her shoulder. She's always trying to find that space. She likes to play simple 1-2 touch football, but she also loves to get involved in the attack.
Moniard and Sauvé colliding. And Lauren Rowe looking to go 1v1. Hill is trying to stand her up and does well.
It's really well done by Hill again.
Small. Back to Rowe, gets the mag through, but blocked by Sauvé. Back to Hess, who's slid back in that right supporting position. Switch to Julia Lees. Lees pushing forward. Schenk. And Lees working Thibault. Pushed off the ball by Nikki Small. That'll be a free kick. So Miriam Marcotte awarding a dangerous free kick here to Montreal Roses.
We've seen in that first little bit of this half, Signa, it was all Toronto as far as creating attacking opportunities. But Montreal has done really well to evade Toronto's pressure and break them down and they're with their movement off the ball and find each other in the attacking third. Obviously, they are 1 goal up, but we're seeing that momentum shift slightly. They're doing really well to move that ball and force Toronto to chase at times. And this is another great opportunity for them.
So Chloe Minas on the ball. Chips over top. Had Lees at the far post, but no connection there. We talked about that chance creation, Jess, off the top of the show, and those are prime opportunities in the offensive third to get something done.
And you can see the delivery. It's well delivered. Right now, it's just a matter of timing your run and being able to make contact with it. So that needs to be better from Lees there. I don't know if she didn't expect it to drop there, but that's a perfectly placed and weighted ball by Minas.
Strategakis turning Minas, and the call will go against the former Pitt Panther.
Pressure there by Moniard.
Minas with a little shifty turn. Ball given back to AFC Toronto though. Esther Okoronkwo playing the ball through to Lauren Rowe. Lauren Rowe, an opportunity stopped by Karpenko.
It's a great save by Karpenko, coming up big and denying Lauren Rowe.
Those runs off the back line is something AFC Toronto has done to affect this season, especially with Kaylee Hunter, her 14 goals on the season, many of them coming from running off the backs of defenders, but Lauren Rowe showing that she can do that as well. But Karpenko, the big stack in the pads, as they would say in hockey, but coming out with the sliding save.
Well done by Minas to turn and go the opposite way.
Hill finds Hess. Bonnyard tried to slide it through. Rollins had a foot on it. And back up to Okoronkwo. Always seems to find a space. And she finds space here. Lauren Rowe breaking through. Rowe stopped again by Karpenko. Rowe couldn't get all of it behind that shot. But Okoronkwo finding space for herself and then finding space for her teammates.
Also, can we just talk about the delivery of that ball? My goodness, the finesse and the technique of Okoronkwo continuously on display. And Lauren Rowe did well there again to time her run, but she needs to not overthink when she finally is in and around the box. When she's that player on a breakaway, it needs to be better from her. She has to be able to be more clinical, find a bit more of that precision to put it into the back of the net and beat Karpenko, who, not to take anything away from her, because she has come up big now twice for the Montreal Roses.
Mina's room and space now. Finally closed down by Regan. Montreal having their way in the midfield so far.
We're seeing that Toronto just drop back and be more comfortable and sitting in their shape to allow Montreal to have it deeper in their own half.
Bilbo looking over top for Schenk. Let's take a look back at the two chances from AFC Toronto and Lauren Rowe.
I mean, Lauren Rowe's pace is something that Montreal absolutely has to be aware of, but Karpenko comes up so big here, and you see Lauren Rowe trying to go left, but wow, that ball, we have to talk about it again, outside of the foot by Okoronkwo, perfectly placed. Lauren Rowe does well to get there, but there's also a great defensive effort from Capadona that sort of throws her off in that final moment, but she is somebody that is going to continuously be a threat, so that speed is something they have to be aware of. But from Rowe's perspective, she has to be able to sort of calm herself down when she's in and around the goalkeeper and just put it past Karpenko in those opportunities.
So AFC Toronto with the advantage in shots, but Montreal had only needed one shot to convert. So maybe they heard your pregame talk there, Jess, about chance creation and conversion.
Yes, I will absolutely take the credit.
Sure. Great crowd on hand for AFC Toronto's final home match, the final regular season match of the inaugural season of the Northern Super League. Oh, for a Toronto throw. These two teams haven't met each other in 71 days. So they saw each other quite a bit in the season. In fact, opened up the season against each other at BMO Field. Back in April, Esther Okoronkwo and Capadona able to get a foot on it and send it up the pitch. Soto trying to keep the pressure on. Small to Katembo. Nyota Katembo. Katembo. A diving stab at it by Hill. Rollins on the right side. Gains control. Strategakis. Strategakis.
Well done by Hess.
Late challenge on Nyota Katembo by Nyota Katembo on Megan Sauvé. He's wearing the captain's armband for the Roses.
You AFC Strats trying to pick out a player there, but Hess comes up massively and sticks that leg out and says, nope, not today. I'm keeping this out of our box. We're getting it out of the danger zone.
And that's some of that work that Hess does, you know, whether it's rotating in position, showing for the ball, but also coming back and making those key defensive plays as well.
Her defensive abilities are one of the things that makes her so special. She's able to be tremendous on both sides of the ball for them, whether that is in creation, as you said, Signa, or scoring the goal, as we've seen today early on. But defensively, she's always ready. She's turned on to what needs to be done from her perspective, and she does it well each time.
Playing forward again, Rowe. Montreal trying to keep Rowe in front of them, not behind, and Regan nearly tripped over the ball. And Montreal's out with it. Well done by Soto to get in front. Small. Closed down by Lees. She's got Okoronkwo in the penalty area. Okoronkwo. Karpenko well off her line to gather possession.
Stephanie Hill doing really well again to stay set and not allow Okoronkwo to go inside to her left foot. We know that's where she wanted to go, and you saw her hesitate, try to go that way, and in the end is shut down because of the recognition of the back line and what Okoronkwo typically does love to do.
.25 minutes gone in this match. It's 1-0 for the Montreal Roses. Thanks to an early goal from Ali Hess. Just 10 minutes into the game. Regan turning, finding Small. And continuing her run. Okoronkwo. Just a little too much, was looking for Rowe again.
Interesting thing about this matchup, Signa, is this is a potential playoff meeting, and that's something that Coach Milanovic mentioned to us. If they don't meet them in that first round, there's potential that they meet them in the final round if both these teams make it there. So, you know, he said, you don't want to show them all your cards, despite having played this team 4 times. It has been, you said, 71 days since they met. Both teams have grown and changed week in and week out. So that was a pretty fun thing that he mentioned to us on the call when we spoke with him.
Yeah, just a reminder that if the Roses win, they would be in second, so they would avoid AFC Toronto. But we're still early in this match, so plenty to be decided. We do know the Vancouver Rise are the 3rd place team, so it really all comes down to this match, who will be second and who will be 4th between the Roses and the Rapid. Sarah Rollins, former UBC product. Thunderbirds this season 14-0. Rollins winning 2 U Sports championships with them. Here comes Nikki Small. Small, she's got an opportunity to shoot at goal. It went off of Hill, and Okoronkwo took a swing and well over top of the bar, but Nikki Small looking for her opportunity.
And Nikki Small always does well if you even give her an inch of space. She's taking a mile. She drives forward here by Minas. She continues to drive. She actually could have probably taken one more touch to her right as Hill had her back turned to her and had a bit more of a clear-cut shot towards goal. But Okoronkwo was there as well to get that deflection.
Lantain. Regan to Small. Lantain ran against Shank.
Nikki Small not too pleased with that call.
Lantain takes her opportunity moving forward. The shot! And just wide, but Lantain showing some bravery from outside, taking an opportunity for herself.
You love to see the confidence. She wins this ball back, she drives forward, she cuts in. But striking this across with her left foot, it's a bit of a difficult angle to be able to connect with frame, but the confidence is there. Had someone been in the box, that's potentially going into the back of the net.
Lantain, as we mentioned, was part of that U20 team that won the CONCACAF title, first one in 17 years, qualifying for the Women's World Cup in Poland in 2026. Of course, Canada's U17 team in action at the World Cup. Kaylee Hunter eligible for that, by the way, but instead will be with the national team. And Toronto upset about this call. Thought it may have been a handball on the ground, but calling Nikki Small. So, people not too happy with Miriam Marcotte early in this game, but
it's hard to tell from that angle whether or not she made contact with it. Toronto quite outraged though, and certain that she did.
We'll see if that fires them up. Soto sweeping it back to Cotillard. See our Cotillard going out of bounds. And a deep throw in for the Roses. Shank strikes the ball through right to the penalty spot. No one there.
And that's another thing that Montreal has had to work on. It's something that Russ Atoyu has mentioned to us, but their runs in the box, they have to have more numbers in there. There has to be the recognition from the person that's delivering the ball and where the ball needs to be put, and for the runners of what space they need to occupy to be able to convert.
Montreal Roses with the lead in terms of possession so far. Of course, I say that as they give away the ball, but almost 60%.
It's well read and anticipated by Hill.
Mina's chipping it in behind, has Sauvé, and Sauvé sprays that wide. Just back to Hill for a second. You know, I know we've talked about her a lot in the broadcast. Stephanie Hill, the progress that she has made, you know, straight out of U Sports in Canadian University, played with McGill. Didn't have, you know, wasn't starting at the beginning of the season, and then an injury to Julia Lees opened the door, and it has not closed for her yet. She's shone on set pieces. She's got 5 goals on the season, breaking up plays like you just saw. Minas to Thibault. Thibault has it in on the inside. Bilbao from distance, blocked by Cathro. Montreal wanted a call there. And Okoronkwo turning. Esther Okoronkwo moving forward. Hill trying to grab her, knocks her over. And there's got to be some debate over that one.
You can see the disbelief on Okoronkwo's face that there was no call there.
Stephanie Hill tracking back, did enough to disrupt that play, and Okoronkwo out for a throw. This is what Montreal was upset about. Cathro potentially with a handball, like she was in control of her body there. And this one,
I think that could go either way, but there wasn't an arm extension from Hill. It was a pretty 50-50 tackle.
what a nifty turn that was by Okoronkwo. In the box, and Karpenko had to be off her line. So the tiki-taka between Katembo, Small, And Okoronkwo.
And just to show off Okoronkwo's IQ there, that small movement that she took, the timing of it to just step off that Montreal back line and receive that ball from Katembo, that just shows her awareness of where she needs to be and when she needs to make those movements.
Charlotte Bilbao is on the turf right now. We'll go down to the third member of our team, Ashley Docking.
Thank you so much, Signa. You'll notice that the last names on the AFC Toronto kits have been replaced for the first half of this match with words like courage, bold, strong, and fearless. And it's an important partnership with Dove that encourages us to change the compliment, if you will. Oftentimes, and you will know this, you too, women's compliments directed at women are superficial, appearance focused. And so AFC Toronto players are reminding us that we are more than what you see on the outside. And just like athletes, women and girls, compliments come in all shapes and sizes as well.
Ashley, thank you so much. I love this initiative, and just seeing also what the players think about themselves and define themselves by. I love that as you look at some of the words on the back of these jerseys here. Here's where we stand right now. Lori Thibault getting things started, and what a pass through to Ali Hess.
The awareness to play that pass, and then Ali Hess driving forward takes a great touch by Codiard, who comes bombing out of her net and then places that in the back of the net, calm, cool, and collected.
That's where we stand. That goal in the 10th minute for the Montreal Roses. It's 1-0. You're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. 10 minutes left to play in this opening half. AFC Toronto, the Supporters Shield winners. They'll receive that trophy later today, but Montreal Roses trying to lock up second place with a victory in the playoff picture in this final game of the regular season.
I know we mentioned at the beginning, Signa, obviously Toronto is not needing a win out of this necessarily, other than just wanting to end on a high note, but Milanovic mentioned a few things to us. They're able to break that 50-point barrier with a win here. They're also able, if they score 2 goals, to break the most goals scored in this season. They're also able to hurt Montreal's goal against record, and he said that there's about 2 goals between them. So there's a few things on the day that they're trying to.
And Okoronkwo across, and Stratigakis had a glorious chance and put it over the bar. She can't believe it.
It's a frustrating one from Stratigakis. Starts back here where you see this ball through to Okoronkwo. She times her run well. She drives forward and plays a nice little slip ball over to Stratigakis, but Stratigakis leans back, doesn't actually follow through, which is why that ball goes upward. That has to be a goal.
So very nearly 1-1. Again, those dangerous runs off the back of Montreal defenders. Esther Okoronkwo leading the way. And here she goes again. Up against Hill. Drives along the line and cleared by Capadonna.
Okoronkwo also showing she doesn't need much space. She's on the end line there. She takes 1 touch, is able to get that ball across. Montreal doing well to get it out, but she continues to prove why she's so lethal and such a big threat.
Small against Hill. Through to Regan. Again, trying to work things with Small. It was a split up by Montreal. The ball cleared over top. No to danger though. Regan cutting it back. The toe by Capadonna. The shot blocked. And Montreal's back on the attack. Didn't look too dangerous, that cleared ball over top by Croy Soto, but Emma Regan making something out of nothing. And Capadonna, who blocked that shot from Okoronkwo. Limping a bit here, Jess.
Regan making something out. As you said, Signa, doesn't look like much, but Capadonna coming up big twice. Blocking that second shot. Looks to be in a little bit of discomfort, but she's up, which is a great sign.
Lucy Capadonna has been such a fixture in the back for the Montreal Roses this season at center back. First-year professional, Lucy Capadonna. You'd never know it. Chloe Minas controlling the ball in the midfield, working with Charlotte Bilbao, who was encouraging her team, often very vocal in the middle of the pitch. Broken up by Katembo. Has Okoronkwo. Tucking it behind her leg to Emma Regan. Slips it through to Rowe. Rowe, the strike. At that near post was Karpenko. Somehow gets it through to Okoronkwo, broken up by Hess. And Montreal just in a world of hurt right now in their own penalty area. And that was a handball for sure on Julia Lees, the arm away from her body. But this is the flurry of action that was just happening in Montreal's penalty area.
Montreal was left on their heels there for a little bit. Okoronkwo plays this ball through to Regan, who finds Rowe, who again recognizes where she needs to be and strikes this on frame, but Karpenko coming up big for the third time and denying her. And then this is where you see that handball signal. There's absolutely contact there. There's no hiding it. Her arms are spread out, but she is lucky that she was just outside the box.
And this wall will have to drop back. Marion Marcotte. Commanding that wall go back. The 33-year-old out of Quebec. Great to see her back. This is her first NSL match of the season. She's a FIFA list referee, was at the Women's World Cup in 2023, but her first match in the middle for the Northern Super League. Here is Esther Okoronkwo, that deadly left foot. We've seen her do this before. Is she on target here? Okoronkwo looking for the equalizer, off the wall. Katembo, the shot, it's off the mark. So Okoronkwo either mishit that or was looking for some kind of set play.
Looks like she tried to add a bit more finesse behind that, didn't actually strike through it as much as she wanted to. You can see there the visible frustration from her. And then Katembo winning that second ball and that rebound, but completely off frame. Doesn't lock her ankle, it ends up going wide.
Almost want to see her kind of bend that to that back post.
It was Signa Butler.
Oh,
I know you would have pulled it off.
As you can tell, I was ready to like jump out of my seat and hit that. Here comes Lauren Rowe for AFC Toronto, has some space. Where's the targets though? She has it, it's Stratigakis making amends for that early miss. And it's an equal game at 1. Sarah Stratigakis, well, she missed a sitter earlier in the match, but this one making no mistake.
You know, Stratigakis was waiting for a do-over after that last miss. So that's great for her to be able to finish that. But it starts from an effort of Lauren Rowe, and we spoke about the impact that she's able to have today. Katembo looks up and recognizes what's on, takes a touch forward, plays through to Rowe. She uses her pace, but then she looks up and realizes what's on. She sees Stratigakis, picks her out, and Stratigakis doesn't make a mistake this time and finds the back of the net. You can see that relief on her face. Great team goal, great finish.
And a 1-1 home game at York Lions Stadium. The 5th meeting of the season between the Montreal Roses and AFC Toronto. 10 minutes into the game, it was Ali Hess for Montreal. And then in this waning minutes of the opening half, Sarah Stratigakis with her 2nd goal of the season. This is the rubber match between AFC Toronto and Montreal. You mentioned they met back in April. It was Montreal with the edge. Met in May. It was Toronto with a 2-0 win. July, it was Montreal winning. And back in August, the last time they met, it was Toronto with a 2-1 win. So very evenly matched between these two teams, and it has been so far in this match as well. Looking for Sauvé, flicked it on to Monyard. 3 minutes of added time in this opening half. Stratigakis, the goal scorer. Soto looking over top, has Small. Touch wasn't there. Sarah Stratigakis came over in the summer transfer window, had been playing in France, and the opportunity to come play in her hometown on AFC Toronto. She was convinced rather easily to come back by Marko Milanovic. For an AFC Toronto throw. Some pressure there from Lauren Rowe. Has a couple of Montreal players around her, does well to pick out Okoronkwo. Is this a late opportunity for AFC Toronto? The outside of the foot, knocking it in the box. Lantain with the shot. That's blocked. But the youngster up against Schenk, and it'll be a corner kick for AFC Toronto. Just about a minute left in added time in this opening half.
And that's exactly what happens when you have the confidence to dribble at players and you have that tenacious attitude. Schenk coming up big for Montreal as far as keeping the ball out of the danger zone, but instead it does go out for a corner kick. So it's really well done by Lantain again with that confidence to drive forward and go 1v1 when the opportunity presents itself.
Short corner here. And offside, the call on AFC Toronto. Shots in this opening half in Toronto's favor. Well, there's the whistle for the opening half. A 1-all game between the Montreal Roses and AFC Toronto. Ali Hess, Sarah Stratigakis with the goals. We'll have our halftime show coming up here on CBC Jam.
Welcome back inside the NSL on TSN Studios. Kate McKenna and Amy Walsh with you. And the Ottawa Rapid are honoring the legendary career of their captain, Desi Scott. She's announced that she will retire from professional soccer at the end of this season. And Amy, you know, when this league started, there were a few key signings who really set the tone for just how professional this league would be. Desi Scott was one of those names. What has made her such an iconic player?
I mean, I could wax poetic for a really long time, but these stats really only tell half the story. Like Katrina Peterson, her head coach, talked about her, perfectly summed up as a measure of equal parts joy and professionalism. But she's a juxtaposition of this fearless competitor and fierce warrior, and the destroyer, as she's thusly nicknamed. But she's also unbridled joy, joie de vivre, infectious personality off the pitch that was part of generating all of these fun celebrations, which is a little bit ironic because when she scored her first professional goal, she just kind of mustered up a dance that was very much Desi Scott, but it's also that pink headband that I think we saw as part of the celebrations as well. That is, again, in stark contrast to this combative, hard-nosed, break up plays, start the attacks, shield the defense, which she did in spades for the Ottawa Rapid, but also the women's national team for so long. So just perfectly sums her up.
Well, it's such a great point, and you bring up that goal. She'd done so much before joining the NSL except score a goal, and that all changed in the Ottawa Rapids' first ever game. She found the back of the net to put Ottawa up by 2. You couldn't have scripted this better.
No, you couldn't. Like, I mean, at TD Place for the first time in the Ottawa Rapids strip, being the captain for her team, and everything that she's meant for this country, not only in soccer, but in sport, and get to do this on this stage, celebrating women, these athletes playing in the first ever professional league in Canada. It was poetic, much the way that it took a professional player in Diana Matheson and an ex-player to start and spearhead this league. Here was the embodiment of all of it in Desi Scott finally getting that precious first professional goal, which is, I mean, I was on the call and could barely get the words out because I was so happy for her. But it's everything that it's meant, because she's been emblematic of this struggle, finally coming back home, talking about this league and being the leader and a role model for so many who are still playing in the national team now, but for the future generation who have yet to suit up for Canada and the NSL.
Well, and let's not forget, she came out of retirement to join this league just to grow the game in Canada, and she has absolutely played a part in that.
Welcome to our halftime show presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. A look at your first half stats. Well, a couple things stand out. It's the shots for AFC Toronto, and they're equal in the game right now. In terms of possession, maybe leaning a little bit towards Montreal. Standing by is our Ashley Docking, and she's with AFC Toronto goal scorer, Sarah Stratigakis.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Now, I don't want to say make amends because it's a little dramatic, but got a second chance and didn't waver, tying this game up 1-1. What do you make of the first half and your team's effort, especially that pressure late in the first?
Yeah, I was going to say Montreal has been showing really well. We've had good moments as well. I'm glad to make amends. Lauren gave me a great pass and finished it off that time. I think just it's football, on to the next, and that's our mentality.
Your head coach, Marko Milanovic, was talking to us this week about just really sharpening things up as you head into the playoffs. What do you think you want to look for a little bit more in the second?
Yeah, I think to be a bit more sharper and then focusing more on the details. I think, like final moments, we could be a bit sharper. But yeah, I think it will come as the game goes on.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Good luck in the second.
Thank you very much.
Well, York Lions Stadium, the youngsters, the future of tomorrow, taking in the action and playing here. But let's take a look at the first half action through 45 minutes. And it was Montreal Roses getting things started in transition. Lori Thibault starting this off.
It starts off with a clearance that has purpose, and then Thibault does well to get up, recognize that Hess is on, recognize Toronto's positioning, and play that ball over top to her. And Hess doing really well with a calm, cool, collected finish. Passes this by Cotillard, who came bombing out to try to disrupt that play. But a fantastic ball across. The IQ of Thibault in this play is on full display without a doubt.
So Ali Hess with her second goal of the season. AFC Toronto had plenty of chances, and it was Lauren Rowe showing that pace and giving herself some opportunities, but not finish.
We've seen that Lauren Rowe has that pace that's going to cause issues for this Montreal back line, as their pace is not the strongest attribute. She had opportunity after opportunity where she just was overthinking in that final third. This is well done by Capadona, but she needs to find more precision. I mean, that pass, we got to rave about it because it's fantastic off of Okoronkwo, the outside of her foot. But Karpenko coming up big 3 times on Rowe so far in that first half and stopping her. But Toronto continued to press forward and create chances. Okoronkwo drives forward here. She plays this ball across, and Stratigakis is not able to find the clinical final touch to put it into the back of the net. But she said, you know what? I'm not letting this keep me down. I am going to continue, and I'm going to find another one. And that's exactly what Stratigakis was able to do in this next play, Signa.
Well, she said it's football. You know what? You win some, you lose some, you miss some, you convert some.
Yes, and that's exactly what she did here. Lauren Rowe does well to pick her out. She gets on the right side of Lees, who has to be more aware of that defensively. Stratigakis gets goal side of her and gets this ball into the back of the net, finishes it, and now it's an equal and even game.
So 1-1 is the score right now, and the fans on hand at York Lions Stadium. The supporter shield will be handed out after the game, but this game still needs to be decided. 45 minutes left to play here on CBC.
What made you want to leave Montreal?
So I really want to focus all my energy on the end of the season. I would say now is not the perfect time to talk about this.
Let's welcome to Just Soccer, Latifa Abdu. Great to have you here, and I want to start with the season that you're having, because 9 goals in your first NSL campaign, and it's not a bad way to get things going here. What's been working for you this year that's allowed you to find the back of the net so consistently?
I think I've just been working well with my teammates, trying to see how I can mesh with them on and off the field so that like when we get on the field, we can win games and get a lot of 3 points.
So let's get to the meat and potatoes here, because you made headlines earlier this year with the big move from Montreal to Vancouver, the big transfer in the NSL, the first in the NSL. What was that transition like for you, both on and off the pitch?
I think Vancouver has been so welcoming. They welcomed me with open arms. The first week that I got there, there was a lot of information to take in. So like tactics, on and off the field stuff, just like normal, just accommodation things that I needed to get used to. And yeah, my teammates have been so welcoming. So they've really made my entry to the team really like smooth and easier for me. So yeah, it's been really nice.
The question on everyone's mind is, what made you want to leave Montreal and join Vancouver?
I mean, I feel like right now I'm so focused on my season in Vancouver that I would say like now is not even the time to talk about it. We have the playoffs coming up. So I feel like even out of respect for like my teammates, to put all my energy into like the season and finishing really, really, really strong. Because even before I got here, they've been having like some tough ups and downs, and they were really, really, really resilient. So I just want to give all my energy and all my time to my team, so that yeah, so that we can finish off strong. But I would say now is not the perfect time to talk about this, but yeah.
You've played in France. Now you're back playing in front of Canadian fans. How special is that experience for you?
It's so special. I think when you grow up somewhere, you have such a strong connection to it. So I feel so like lucky and privileged to play like in Canada, because it's the first year that there's a professional league in Canada. So the fact that I get to be like one of the first ones to do it, I feel really privileged to do that. So also like when my friends and family can come and watch me in the stands, like it's such a great feeling, you know, to see that the people that are supporting you are actually in front of you. Like I can see them and they're not on the TV like watching me, you know. But yeah, it feels really good.
Great having you join Just Soccer. Latifa Abdu, pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time.
The Pitch is a documentary about the formation of the Northern Super League. Go behind the scenes on the sweat, the tears, the triumphs. It all streams on TVO on November 9th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
The return home for our Olympic champions.
The United States,
Sweden,
France, China,
Australia,
Germany, Japan, England, Italy, all have professional leagues.
but our home and native land
Still doesn't have one.
After winning the gold, the outside world was like, okay, here it comes, like a women's professional soccer league. But we, as players, knew that it was still going to be a fight.
Women's soccer players are never just fighting for money.
To have their federation meet them this way after winning a world championship is just wild to me.
You should just be happy to be here. We're not accepting that narrative anymore. You're lucky to have us playing for you.
As late Tuesday night, it was announced a women's professional soccer league is coming to Canada.
We can build one of the top women's professional leagues in the world. You buy in now for $1 million, and you're looking at, $40 to $50 million asset in decades' time.
Do you brought fancy shoes?
Okay, I'm just trying to project business. We're looking for 8 teams. We can do it with a minimum of 6.
We're here to get membership. That's it.
She's literally working all the time.
We signed in May. It's too late.
If we didn't get this done, we weren't going to.
It's the timeline to Plan B. The pressure is on Diana right now.
We're sick of it.
I would say I've woken up every night. Oh my God, is my wife gonna do it?
I just hope that Canadians realize how big this can be if they just choose to do it.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
Our players are ready. Our fans are ready. I strongly believe that the strength of Canadian soccer is through equality. Not women's soccer, not men's soccer, Canadian soccer.
Powerful stuff there. We're getting set for the second half. Between AFC Toronto and the Montreal Roses, it's even at 1 apiece. Thanks for watching the BMO halftime show. Our official bank of the Northern Super League. We've got the substitutions for Montreal. We've got Olivia Mbala coming in for Julia Lees in the back, and Jody Smith coming in for Megan Sauvé. So a couple substitutions for Montreal to start things off. Again, 1-1 game. And the Montreal Roses right now, they need to win. And if they win, they'll be level on points with Vancouver and Ottawa. But the Roses have the tiebreaker, which is head-to-head against those teams. during the season. So they would secure second place in the playoff picture and would play the Vancouver Rise in the playoffs. If Montreal draws or loses today, they would finish 4th and they would play AFC Toronto, the Supporters Shield winners. So lots still to be played for here with 45 minutes left to go. AFC Toronto, while this game does not matter in terms of the standings, they'll receive that brand new Supporters Shield after the game today. They do want to go in on a high note, and as Sarah Stratigakis was telling our Ashley Docking, just that sharpness, to keep that sharpness going as you've progressed through the season.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, we've seen them too in this matchup, Signa. The momentum has shifted back and forth a few times in that first half. It was all AFC Toronto, then Montreal was able to find the back of the net, and we saw them become really confident on the ball, and they did well to really pull Toronto out of their shape defensively by using those quick passes, 1-2 touches. But Toronto didn't stop bringing the firepower in the attack. So for the second half, it's just about continuing to do that, but being more sharp. As you mentioned, Stratigakis mentioned, just cleaning it up for both sides, I would say. And for Montreal, making those decisions in the final third to really find the back of the net.
Kickoff just moments away. So far, just a windy day. The rain has held off at York Lions Stadium. The final game of the regular season, of the inaugural season of the Northern Super League. Stratigakis, the goal scorer for AFC Toronto, playing it out wide to Katembo. Karpenko off her line and gathering that up. Olivia Mbala with her first touches of the game, making her third appearance of the year, pardon me.
I think in that first half, Signa, both, you know, on the flanks is where AFC Toronto was finding a lot of success playing it in behind, and we see Montreal as a team that likes to get their fullbacks forward at times. They sort of attack with a 3 in the back. So you saw both Sauvé as well as Lise having to do a lot of work, and they were getting exposed at times. So having those fresh legs in Smith and Mbala can absolutely help them in the second half to be a little bit more sound in the back line and be ready for AFC Toronto's attack.
Hess will kick that out of danger. After this regular season game, we enter the international break. Okoronkwo popping over top. Shank clears it right to Stratigakis and couldn't get it to Emma Regan. And Bilbao leading the charge out the other way. So yes, we head into the international break after this. And then the playoffs begin the first weekend of November. Still to be confirmed, of course. It's a home and away leg in the semifinals. And concluding with that championship final, the inaugural championship final for the Diana B. Matheson Cup on November 15th at BMO Field in Toronto. Neutral site game in the first year of this Northern Super League. Hess moving forward. She's got a little bit of space. She's got Thibault. Hess keeping it herself. Hess the shot on net. Cotillard diving to her right. And Croy Soto is down. That's not good news for AFC Toronto.
Ali Hess is a player, again, we spoke about what she does on both sides of the ball. She does well to anticipate and read that, and she actually cuts across to her left foot. If she would have done one quick move, go to her right, release the ball quick, she's potentially getting a better shot off there. She kind of kills her angle, and Soto does well to stay with her and not allow her the cleanest shot on frame.
Soto gingerly sitting up. Getting a look from the training staff here.
Looks like it might
almost
have been
pulled up right before the shot by Hess.
Looks like it might have been on the step. Oh, and you're seeing that hand signal there for a change.
So Croy Soto, a 24-year-old from Pasadena, California. Plenty of experience in the NWSL, a couple seasons there with Houston and Kansas City, and has really been a fixture in the center back position for AFC Toronto. They were kind of rotating players around at the beginning of the season in this 3-back that Coach Marko Milanovic deploys, but Soto has secured herself. Obviously has pulled something here. And getting helped off the field. So that is not good news for Marko Milanovic's team. Not putting any weight on that foot. So Kayla Hansen will come into the match, and we'll see how AFC Toronto adjusts. If Rollins goes to the middle, looks like she will. So Sarah Rollins now at that center back position. Kayla Hansen on the right. Ashley Cathro will remain on that left-hand side, but some concerns there for Marko Milanovic.
Yeah, Soto has been somebody, we mentioned it earlier, but she's somebody that has really been the glue in that back line and keeping the team together based off of her communication alone. But she's had such great performances herself in her 1v1 defending, coming up big, showing her physicality and that leadership in the back line. So that's definitely not a sight you want to see, especially as playoffs do approach.
Cathro finding Stratigakis. The channel ahead to Okoronkwo. Karpenko took a slip. And Okoronkwo didn't continue her run, and maybe that could have been an opportunity for the AFC Toronto Star, the Super Falcon.
Slightly overhit from Stratigakis' point of view, but Okoronkwo with a great run, and the recognition to play that ball over top when she did by Stratigakis was also spot on, but again, just a little bit too overhit.
Soto being carried now to the tunnel for AFC Toronto. Cathro turning back to the 20-year-old Toronto native Sarah Rollins. Given away. Minas brings it down.
Well done by Minas.
As Shank crossed it first time, looking for Monyard. Hansen bumped, so they'll call the foul. It'll be back a couple yards. Keeps it alive, gets it to Lantain. Shifty little move on the sideline. Capadonna capably back to Karpenko.
Well done by Hill. And some great defending by Rowe as well.
You see Mina saying, let's slow it down a little bit here. For a goal kick to Montreal. Esther Okoronkwo, we've talked a lot about her season, whether it's in the NSL with 8 goals and 6 assists. But her time with the Super Falcons over at the WAFCON, the African Cup of Nations this year, pivotal part of their team winning. The ping pong going on. And AFC Toronto will reset with Rollins, Nikki Small dropping back.
Either side really able to secure the ball at this moment.
Cathro looking forward. She's got Lauren Rowe. Look at that pace. Capadonna did really well to get back and nearly saved it from a corner kick. Capadonna, we just talk about that leadership in the back, and just 23 out of the University of Connecticut. Been a great recruit for this Montreal Roses team.
And we've continued to see that growth in her from that first matchup all the way till now to this final regular season match. The confidence in her, the leadership from her in that back line. It's not easy to do, especially as a first-time pro.
Karpenko organizing her penalty area. Emma Regan, so we'll see an in-swinger. You saw the wind there, about 20 kilometers an hour with some gusts of up to 35. Driving into the near post, headed away. Lantain, top of the box, and that'll sky over top. Lantain from Ajax, Ontario, 19 years of age. 7th of 8 siblings. I imagine things were slightly busy in the Lantain household. 1 brother, 6 sisters. Nyota Katembo also 1 of 7, so you learn how to play nice in the sandbox when you're when you have that many siblings.
I'm sure it
maybe
also
not nice on the soccer pitch.
Definitely teaches you the competitive edge.
Rowe. Keeping in a hand on Mbala. It doesn't win the battle, and now Rowe is down. Ball called down, and the call will go the way of the Montreal Roses, I believe. Take another look.
See Lauren Rowe initiate that physical contact. She tries to outmuscle Mbala, but Mbala seems to get the best of it in the end and winning that foul.
Regan turns, but into the path of Ali Hess, who fell down. That did not look good right there. And hopefully Ali Hess is all right. Lantain moving into the middle of the pitch, and Minas professional foul there as Ali Hess really gingerly walking. Ball back in play. Small, quick turn. And that's a great tackle by Monyard because Nikki Small was ready to wind up. Okay, and Hess is back and kicked that up the field, so looks like she's all right. Katembo sliding it to Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo, the right foot across to Small and cleared by Mbala. Katembo. Smith able to stand up Katembo, but here is Okoronkwo. Emma Regan, nice touch forward, cuts it back, has Rowe, what a save!
My goodness.
But it's in the back of the net, Lauren Rowe! Okay, hold your horses. Foul has been called in the box. We'll get another replay of this sequence of events, but Montreal player down, Karpenko having to make a save, but appears to be all whistled down. Lauren Rowe incensed. Well, 60 minutes into the game, it looked like AFC Toronto had the lead. Let's take another look.
Looks like there's that foul there on Capadona.
Looked like Nikki Small maybe took down Lucy Capadona in the box. AFC Toronto's got the foot on the gas right now. Lantain, left-footed shot over top. The header. Karpenko was right there. Stratigakis another shot at goal, this time with her head.
Karpenko's been having a great game for Montreal so far. We've seen her come up big a few times, even on that goal that just got called back. Her save to keep that out of the back of the net when it's coming through a crowd is not something that's easy. She wasn't even able to have a clear view on the person striking the ball. So it's very well done from her. But she continues to come up big for them.
Karpenko, a little extra incentive, of course, from Richmond Hill, Ontario, the 23-year-old. Making her 18th start of the season. She's got 6 clean sheets. Not today. Lauren Rowe looking forward. Stratigakis! And Karpenko, just as we were talking about, flicks that over top of the bar.
Confident and strong hands. Karpenko does so well there to just tip that over top of the bar. Lauren Rowe drives forward, finds Stratigakis with a quick turn, and she tries to go over top of Karpenko, but she said, nope, not today.
In swinger for April Lantain. AFC Toronto sniffing at the goal, goes back post, headed back by Okoronkwo. And Montreal releasing out of pressure as the throw in.
You see this back here. This is exactly where that foul is coming from. Nikki Small making contact with Capadona's back leg and taking her down just before Rowe is able to hit that into the back of the net.
Montreal will have a couple of substitutions getting set to enter the game. We'll have Mara Bouchard and Felicia Roy. We'll get that confirmed for you in just a moment. Small escaping danger. Here comes Okoronkwo. Ball like a magnet to her foot. Dancing around the touchline. That looks like it's out of bounds. Hasn't been whistled down just yet. Lantain. Cross not cleared. Small cuts it back. The shot! And again, Karpenko, one arm. Out for a corner kick. So it's all AFC Toronto and all Anna Karpenko.
She continues to deny these fantastic opportunities created by AFC Toronto off individual efforts. Comes up big there again.
Lantain on the corner kick. 1-all game. Driving it in, far post again, looking for Okoronkwo, and this time we'll go out for a goal kick.
It's been a lot of Toronto Signa in this second half. We're seeing attack after attack from them. Montreal really needing to just impose themselves and control the ball, control the play, and have that dynamic shift a little bit into their favor, regain their control, because that slipped from them in the second half so far.
So a pair of substitutions for each team. April Lantain coming out for Colby Barnett, a consistent starter for AFC Toronto all season long. Nyota Katembo coming out for Zoe Burns. So there is Katembo, bold on the back of her jersey today, coming out of the match. And then for the Montreal Roses, Charlotte Bilbao coming out for Felicia Roy, and Ali Hess coming out for Mara Bouchard. So both Marko Milanovic and Robert Rosatoyu going to their benches here. A little bit of extra legs in these final minutes of the game. Shank turning. Monyard does well to get that through the legs. Shank, dangerous cross in front. And Zoe Burns just putting it out for the corner kick.
It's really well done there for Montreal. You can see here, you know, that's what you love to see though. Woo! Nutmeg. I'm a big nutmeg fan. But this is a great ball across. Zoe Burns does well to get that out of the danger zone. But this is another opportunity for Montreal to potentially capitalize and take the lead.
Just their first corner of this match for the Montreal Roses, and they do have some dangerous targets in the box. Stephanie Hill among them. Olivia Mbala also. Minas floating it in. Mbala! The shot was stopped, and Cotillard scoops that up, but Olivia Mbala with an opportunity for the Roses.
And Thibault as well. She's going to want that one back, Signa.
Nikki Small with some space. Has Lauren Rowe. Burns driving the ball in, cleared by Hill. Bouchard. Working the give and go with Rory Thibault. Montreal getting a switch of play. Another look at that great chance here off the corner kick.
She strikes that well, but Thibault here, she's not able to make contact with the ball to create anything dangerous, but that's a fantastic opportunity, and that's a dangerous chance that they have to be able to convert.
Throw in as Bouchard and Minas work it across the pitch. The shots on target, Jess. 8 on target, but 17 total. The pressure has been on by AFC Toronto. Karpenko has stood up today.
She has time and time again. She has not backed down. She's come up strong for them. She's come out brave and confident. And, that's not something it's great for the goalkeeper, but it's also not something you want to be happening, because that means you're being broken down too many times with AFC Toronto creating dangerous chance after dangerous chance, and Karpenko has no choice but to come up big.
Ball played over top. This is Strategakis. Strategakis against Capadonna. Has Rowe. Rowe looking for a shot. Has No space, closed down well. But the ball's in. Nikki Small got a shot off, and Karpenko again with traffic in front. So AFC Toronto cannot solve Karpenko. And another corner kick.
This is really well done by Stratigakis as well. She recognizes what's on. She splits both Minas and Shank and finds Small, but Karpenko once again denying Nikki Small.
Minutes left to play in this final regular season game for both of these teams. Colby Barnett will reset the gusts of wind, knocking that ball off the corner.
And the wind is something that Montreal has to be aware of here, that with that in-swinger.
Barnett on the ball, driving it in. It is curling! And just curled by that back post, almost Olympico territory.
Colby Barnett has continuously put good balls into the box, good deliveries in. But this is a fantastic ball, and as you said, Signa, that looks like it's going into the back of the net from that angle. Doesn't really give any of her teammates an opportunity to get there to create anything dangerous and connect.
Alicia Roy pushing forward, has a lot of space, no one marking her, no one closing her down. Bouchard. Yes, Mbala. Sky high ball, and Cotillard off her line.
That ball needs to be pulled out further to give her teammates a chance. You want to be able to connect with that before Cotillard is able to come up and disrupt it.
Okoronkwo keeping it alive along those sidelines. It's Rowe, closed down by about a million Roses players, and out for a goal kick. Jess's favorite move of the game.
Another one. That is what you love to see, or at least that's what I love to see. The craftiness. I've been nutmegged a few times in my career though, and it's not something I'm proud of, but I have also nutmegged people, Signa, so.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly, but I won't tell you which one was done more, but.
Okay, what goes around comes around. Sarah Stratigakis, the goal scorer for AFC Toronto, leaving the match, and Chloe Udenberg coming in. Just a refresher, if you're just joining us, this is the final game of the NSL's regular season. AFC Toronto has the Supporter Shield wrapped up, first in the table. But the Montreal Roses and where they stand in the playoff picture to be decided in this game. A win will mean they are in second place. They'll play the Vancouver Rise. If they draw or lose, they would finish fourth, and they would play AFC Toronto. So a lot to be decided here, with just under 20 minutes left to play. Mathilde Lachance coming into the match for Chloe Minas, who's had a nice outing for Robert Rosatoyu's side. Mathilde Lachance making her 9th appearance today of the season. She was part of the team, or picked as part of the team out of their ID camp out of the University of Laval. Colby Barnett grabbing that leg. On limited minutes today, Colby Barnett, just to keep her healthy. Eidenberg.
It's a bit of a high foot there from Roy.
Netherlands under pressure by Lachance, who's into the match, looking to equate herself. Wins the ball in the midfield. Back to Zoe Burns. Another player who came over in the summer transfer window, Zoe Burns.
Both these teams have picked up players that have made a difference since coming. Zoe Burns, Stratigakis, you've Cherim for the Roses, all player, and Minas as well. So there's multiple players that have come in late to the mix, but have made the world of a difference late in the season.
Burns on the right channel, cutting in. Small, who seems to be everywhere right now. Udenberg across. Capadonna easily cushions that and sends it up. Not out of danger though, Barnett.
Toronto's done well to win that second ball. Every time that ball is cleared out.
Rowe has to take it herself because Regan was in an offside position.
Looking there for options for someone for her to lay that ball off to, but there isn't enough movement off the ball underneath her in that moment for her to be able to lay it off and spin out and potentially go out the other way.
Back to Rollins, who pops it over top looking for Barnett. The direct header looking for Okoronkwo, and Shank puts it out for a throw-in. Shank, the former German youth international. Played a little bit at right back, a little bit on the wing for Montreal. Barnett. Udenberg. Cutting it to Regan. Regan to Rowe. Taking an extra touch. 2 touches blocked. The Roses just blocking everything. And if it's not them, it is Karpenko. And Bala, a bump on Nikki Small. She wanted a call in the box. Not going to be.
This is a great ball through by Udenberg. Regan has the opportunity to strike that with her left. She does go square to... She does go square there, but there's too many touches there from Rowe where she's not able to strike that. Montreal doing well to stick with her. Also see that opportunity there where you know Toronto is going to want that PK, Signa, but I don't think there was too much in that to win a PK in that moment.
Here is Small. Cutting inside. Lots of short movement by Toronto. Headed away. And Bala, big tackle. Cathro moving up. Udenberg in the box saying, cross it into me. Burns, the cross. Okoronkwo bounces over her head and out for a goal kick. So another look at this penalty appeal.
You know what? There's potentially something in that from that angle. It does look like Mbala makes contact with Small and not the ball and throws her off.
We have the benefit of replay up here.
On the initial opportunity, it didn't look like there was too much in it. But on that replay, there's definitely something that can be argued.
But it's a 1-1 game. Just over 10 minutes to play in this final regular season match. You're, of course, watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. Signa Butler and Jess Lisi alongside you today. In this game that will decide the playoff picture. So AFC Toronto will get their supporter shield after this game, and they'll also know who they'll play in the first round. Will it be Montreal? Will it be the Ottawa Rapid? Montreal, a win would give them second place and a date with the Vancouver Rise. Hill turns back to Capadonna. And Mbala looking for La Chance. Rollins.
Just the right amount of physicality there to throw the shots off.
I think the name on the back of her jersey is Strong today, so
fitting
that works out well.
tackle.
Nice touch there by Okoronkwo. Just goes by Nikki Small. Okoronkwo going 1v1, and the through ball looking for Uddenberg. Uddenberg is offside. She might get a yellow for firing that ball on goal, and she did get the yellow there. The ball had been whistled down, so the yellow card for Chloe Uddenberg.
Seeing Okoronkwo still, Signa late in this matchup being so active, pulling out the craftiness and the finesse with the balls through, with the 1v1 challenges.
It's just not just about the goals for Okoronkwo. I mean, she does have 8 on the season, but also tied among the assist leaders in the league with 6. And you see some of that, you know, I love how you say craftiness because it's on display today. Mbala. Sheng tried to slip it through, Barnett gets it right back to her. Monyard. Wah. Dancing on the ball as Smith out wide. Jody Smith forced backwards to Capadonna.
We speak about confidence, Signa, and you want that from your strikers. That's where Monyard needs to turn. I don't think she recognized how much space she actually had, but in time, but she had the ability to turn there and strike on frame.
Bouchard. Bouchard crossed the back post, has Thibault, and was she taken down there?
It did look like there was some contact from here.
No complaint, though, from Montreal, so...
Potentially just lost her footing.
Oh, maybe. We'll have another look. Once play stops here, Capadonna. Great delivery by Bouchard there to the back post. Wow. It's Thibault. Here's Bouchard. Bouchard across. And I think Burns pulled down.
It does look like there might have been some contact there late. Thibault not able to contest that ball.
So Montreal a case. They win the ball back. Just over 5 minutes plus added time to play. Schenk playing in Thibault. Can she chase this down? She can. Rory Thibault an assist on Ali Hess's goal today. Thibault strikes it first time. Cotillard spills it! And Monyard was on the doorstep. Cotillard a little unsure.
That's the reason they always tell you to stay on your toes. You never know what's going to happen. Cotillard bobbles that ball, and it's potentially going into the back of the net if Monyard's ready for it. She is there, she's in the vicinity, but if you see here, she's not able to catch that, bobbles it. Cathro does well to hold Monyard off. Monyard's definitely not expecting Cotillard not to handle that.
Wow. Schenk. Schenk takes it inside, sees Cotillard a little bit off her line, but Cotillard who's getting ready to join Portugal in their senior national team against the US for a couple of friendlies coming up. Handles that better than the last ball on target. Splitting the midfield. Over top has Barnett. Barnett's got some time. She have a target. Crossed Okoronkwo on the back post. Has Rowe laid it off to Okoronkwo. Now the shot by Small! And Nikki Small's got a goal! AFC Toronto had been lurking. Karpenko had held them off, but not this time. Nikki Small with her 5th goal of the season.
This entire second half has been Toronto knocking on the door for that second goal to take the lead. Nikki Small has been somebody that's been instrumental for them in creating those attacking opportunities. She had a few shots that Karpenko was able to stop, so you can see how happy she is to be able to put her team ahead. She does well to be able to find the back of the net, but it starts with Barnett's recognition to get this ball in. Rowe does well to keep it in. Okoronkwo back, and Nikki Small strikes that first time just by Karpenko near post. And that top of the box cutback has continued to be an issue for Montreal in this game. Toronto continuously has exposed them in that way, and this time they were able to capitalize.
Okoronkwo with her 7th assist on the season. That's tops in the NSL now. But still some time left for the Montreal Roses. They need a win if they want to finish second. Otherwise, it's a date with this AFC Toronto team.
Playing a team 3 times in a row is most definitely not the most ideal situation.
Lachance winning the ball. For a throw in. As it stands right now, it would be these two teams playing against each other in the inaugural playoff season of the Northern Super League. Home and away leg. called on Rowe.
Something too Coach Milanovic mentioned to us, Signa, was that at this point in the season he'd take, you know, a really good performance and a loss over a poor performance and a win. And today he has everything to be proud of. This team has gone out so far as it stands, the way this game looks to be ending. Toronto has been the dominant force in the second half. In the first half, they continue to create attacking opportunities. They stuck true to those attacking principles that they've been working on all season long. So Milanovic will definitely be proud of this team, no matter how this game ends. Rosatoyu, on the other hand, you know, he's somebody that he said, of course, it'd be great to finish second, but he also has been so proud of the growth of this team, and he came in here wanting to obviously walk away with a win, but he said, you know, it is what it is. If it doesn't go their way, they're still in the playoffs, they're able to go compete, and they want to go and win that next round and get to November 15th.
Ball curled up over top. Cody Yard well off her line. Okoronkwo, big tackle on Monyard. Players down on the pitch on both sides.
Not much movement with the ball, just a bunch of legs kicking at it.
Shank crosses in, headed down by Burns. And again, another shot blocked, but it'll be called for a free kick. There's 5 minutes of added time. And now that's Kayla Hansen.
Looks like she's holding the back of her head there. Everybody wanted to be able to get the better end of this ball. Okoronkwo putting her body on the line. Small, Rollins, some pulling and tugging from Monyard.
Looked like Kayla Hansen got maybe an elbow to the back of the head as everybody was approaching that.
See her
free
there,
ball.
grabbing the back of her head.
So Hansen will head off with the training staff. Still holding the back of that head, might have a goose egg there. At a free kick for Montreal. Thibault running over top, that's Mbala. And no chances for Cody Yard to make a save. That's well over the bar.
Mbala has to be better there. Whoever steps up in that moment, we're obviously running, the time is obviously winding down, Signa. You want the opportunity to tie this and score that equalizer. She has to be able to find better technique in that, stay over top of the ball, strike through it. And if she's not deciding to go on frame, which obviously is the best decision from that distance, but if she's not, then putting a ball in the box that at least your teammates can create something dangerous out of.
Hill checking over her shoulder with an oncoming Lauren Rowe. Back to Karpenko, who's really stood out today for Montreal. Small over top to Rowe. Rowe pops it over top of the goal.
Well to win that first ball, and Small finds Rowe, who stays on side there, but isn't able to make contact with that ball to really put it on net. But she has been very active for them throughout this game, Lauren Rowe.
Ebola. Barnett Burnett took a tumble, back on her feet. Shank tried to lay it off, but picked off.
It's well done there by Colby Barnett. Always ready.
Barnett long throw over top, and it is Esther Okoronkwo. Okoronkwo in added time. Okoronkwo cutting it back and broken up by Capadonna. Esther will battle it out on the corner flag. Might have a bit of cramping there, Esther. So almost the 5 minutes of added time has gone. Montreal, maybe one last push to try and equalize in this game. Cotillard clears that away.
Well done by Cotillard to get that out.
Karpenko well out of her goal. Looking for a result at the end of this. Look at Okoronkwo just
pulling out the keep-ups in the middle of the pitch.
And winning the ball back. Esther Okoronkwo has been everywhere tonight. The side shuffle down the sideline. And this should run out the time. Okoronkwo just playing keep away. Lauren Rowe will do the same. One back by Bouchard, who is taken down by Lauren Rowe. And Okoronkwo getting a yellow card there for delay of game.
Saw a bit of a shove there as well afterwards.
Last push for the Roses. And that's it. It will be AFC Toronto. 2-1 the win over the Montreal Roses. th win of the season for AFC Toronto. And the way things stand, Jess, these two teams will meet in the playoffs. 1 versus 4. Was too much revealed by either team today? That's what I want to know.
You know what? I think that they both really looked into the depth of their team, and we saw a lot of interchange in the lineups. So I don't think so. I think it's going to be interesting to play a team 3 times in a row, without a doubt, Signa. But I think both these teams are going to bring something out that's different than what maybe we've seen so far this season from them. But it was a well-deserved win from Toronto. Their attacking principles on full display. The first half, they weren't as clean. In the second half, they said, yep, we're taking control. We're going to take back our power, and we're going to put these chances away. Not clean enough from Montreal in the final third. They were able to get that first goal, which is a fantastic goal at that. But it just, their lack of consistency when they're in and around the 18 to be able to finish their chances really did hurt them.
Let's look at the full-time stats. After 90 minutes, just a slight edge to the Roses in terms of possession, but the shot totals, total shots 22, 10 on target for AFC Toronto. But most of all, the score, 2-1 in the end.
And a lot of that creation came from Esther Okoronkwo. She's somebody that was massively impactful today. There she is on the screen now. She's just somebody that was you know, pulling out the moves for fun today, Signa. I've never seen anyone just juggle in the middle of the pitch and find success with it. She probably could have gotten a few more assists tonight had they panned out and someone was able to get on the end of them, but she was influential today and she made such a big impact for them, a big part of this matchup and this win for them.
Well, Esther Okoronkwo will be the assists leader to end this NSL regular season. And as for the standings and how they ended up, just to give you a picture, it is AFC Toronto, 16 wins on the season. And Montreal Roses will finish in 4th place there. So Ottawa and Vancouver, the other playoff matchup. So let's look at how the playoffs will look in just over a week and a half's time. It'll be Montreal and AFC Toronto. It's a home and away. And then the Vancouver Rise and the Ottawa Rapid moving all the way to the Diana B. Matheson Cup, November 15th at BMO Field. Well, AFC Toronto celebrating their victory today, 2-1 over the Montreal Roses, waiting for that supporter shield to be handed out, the inaugural supporter shield for the tops of the table. And we're standing by to watch that ceremony. AFC Toronto receiving the first ever supporter shield trophy.
I think it's like a combination of they're waiting, when they're done, they're waiting for you as well.
AFC Toronto celebrating their victory today over the Montreal Roses, 2-1 in the final game of the regular season. But right now it's time for the supporter shield to be handed out. And our Ashley Docking is standing by with NSL President Christina Litz.
Fans, family, friends, welcome. I am so honored to be here today for what is a historic and exciting moment for AFC Toronto and all of their supporters. We are here to give AFC Toronto the inaugural NSL Supporter Shield, celebrating the best team of the regular season in the NSL's inaugural year. And to do that, please welcome President of the NSL, Christina Litz.
Thanks, Ashley. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Well, we're here on another historic occasion after a historic first season of the NSL as we unveil the NSL Supporter Shield. And of course, the Supporter Shield is a sign of resilience, of excellence on and off the pitch. And today we saw that happen again with AFC Toronto. But we all know that we couldn't do anything this season without our supporters. And I mean the supporters that are here tonight for AFC Toronto, but also as a shout out to the amazing supporters across our country in this first season. So, without further ado, could I call up Captain Emma Regan to receive the very first NSL Supporter Shield.
Well, Emma Regan getting ready to raise this trophy. There's the Supporter Shield, the Vermilion Vanguard. Handing it over to the Burnaby, BC native, Emma Regan, Canadian national team member, showing off that golden circle. And then, wait for it, she says. What a moment for AFC Toronto. Finishing off the season with a win. Tops of the table. 16-win season, most goals in the league. But really what it comes down to is how you shape up and play in the playoffs, which is just ahead of them in the horizon.
Yeah, without a doubt, Signa. But, I think they have so much to be proud of, obviously being able to finish first in the first ever professional women's league here in Canada. But this is a team that we've seen so much growth from in the beginning of the season. There was all these question marks around whether or not they would be able to live up to that expectation people set for them. They weren't getting the results, but they were able to turn that around, and they've been so fantastic and consistent ever since. So very well deserved from them, and it's great to see those smiles on their faces.
Everybody getting a chance to raise that Supporter Shield trophy. Both the team members, the staff, everybody behind the scenes. It's a team effort as they push towards the postseason. And as for the postseason, let's clear that up for you once again if you're just tuning in. Toronto raising the Supporter Shield. Let's look at the playoff bracket and how things will match up. AFC Toronto, the first place team, they will play their opponent from today, the Montreal Roses, who ended up finishing in 4th position. The Vancouver Rise, the third place team, will play the Ottawa Rapid, who ended up with the 2nd place in the standings. It is a home and away leg in the semifinals. Aggregate goal and to see who booked their ticket in the final, which will be a 1-game affair. Saturday, November 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern at BMO Field for the Diana B. Matheson Cup, the inaugural trophy in the Northern Super League. Well, today it's been a game, hasn't it? The Roses got things started. Ali Hess with the goal, but then it was Sarah Stratigakis and Nikki Small. An outstanding performance by Esther Okoronkwo, and AFC Toronto celebrating their season.